industry and government collaborate to push the boundaries of research and innovation. So next, 2022, SADNEC launched a hackathon, which birthed the SADNEC Industry Solutions Challenge. So this is the second year of the challenge, and the main aim of this challenge was to expose the students to real-world industry challenges and to equip them with the skills to actually solve these challenges. So this year's challenge theme is centered around AI, IoT, network technologies, energy and sustainability, and customer experience, all of which align with the SADNEC 2024 theme, the AI-driven hyper-connected future, co-creating shared value. Before I proceed, I am not alone on stage. I am accompanied by representatives from Telkom Consumer, our partners from industry and academia. I am going to let each and every one of them introduce themselves and then also explain to us why is it important for them to be part of this challenge. So I'm going to let Lebu introduce himself and then everybody until the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Babedi. Excited to be here. I think this is a premier event that we are all privileged to be part of. By way of introduction, my name is Lebu Masalesa. I'm responsible for, the managing executive responsible for the mobile network in the Telkom consumer division. Thank you.
Well, my name is Anamela Nyambe. I'm the senior manager for network health management in the in mobile network side. Yeah. I'm actually one of the coaches to the students, so I'm here as a judge. But just to give a background of my history, I joined Telkom in 2010 in the Telkom mobile space as a manager, and I was blessed to be invited to be promoted to a senior manager. Now I'm the senior manager for network quality management. I know my job title might not sound very close to what we are doing, but just to give a small picture, a short picture, I'm responsible for network data analytics, together with the contract that go with it. And then in the contracts, we do have our SLAs. So I'm sure also responsible for putting together some of those contracts and putting together the SLAs. So we have a small challenge in terms of how we manage our SLAs. The complexity part of it is that it's not a one vendor's problem. We have multiple vendors, and each of those vendors have got their own small segment they play in the entire end-to-end value chain of our SLA management. So the challenge here was to try and come up with an easy solution that the team can use, because they waste a lot of time trying to calculate these SLAs manually. So we hope the student was going to give us a quick solution that's going to help us improve our efficiencies in the mobile network team. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. My name is Letlotlo Pohole, and I come from the University of the Witwatersrand, or Wits University. And at WETS, my role is acting director for the WETS Innovation Center. And the center is actually a new center that we launched about a year ago. And the aim of the center is to be that system integrator for the university. We have to ensure that innovation happens across all faculties, be it engineering, science, health sciences, humanities, commerce, law, and management. So as the center, our role is to make sure that innovation belongs to everyone as it should be, and to ensure that even our students are involved in not just research, but translating that research into innovation that will land them in a place like this. And that's why we're very excited as the university to be involved in this great opportunity to ensure, again, that our students are closer to industry through challenges like this. In terms of background, I've got a electrical engineering and technology and innovation management background. And yeah, but I've been working mostly as a systems engineer, integrating all these nice things and dealing with complex or wicked problems. That's what we like doing. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Babedi, and good morning, everyone. My name is Chabalala Chabalala. I'm from the University of the Witwatersrand in the School of Electrical and Information Engineering. My area of specialization is telecommunications. We focus on the next generation communication technologies. I'm very excited to be here, and I'm looking forward to the presentations, and thank you.
Thank you, Babedi, and good morning, everyone. My name is Lanyard Miakayaka. I'm the executive in the Office of the CEO, looking after business performance as well as strategic projects for Telkom. I have keen interest in data and AI in terms of how it can assist us in terms of optimizing our business processes and also make us more efficient in terms of how we become a better telco. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for the wonderful introductions. I'm hoping that our participants are being inspired by the people who are here today. And we really appreciate you taking time to be here with us today with your busy schedules. So before I move on to anything else, I would like to move on to Dr. Mikey Jantjies, who is the SADNEC chairperson. So Dr. Mikey cannot be here with us today, unfortunately, but she would have loved to be here today. So she has pre-recorded her message of welcome to all of us. So let's move on to Mikey. Mikey?
Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to the 2024 SADNEC Innovation Challenge. I'd like to acknowledge the students in and beyond South Africa from across our country and our continent who have submitted and put themselves forward to solving some of the most pertinent challenges facing organizations as well as our society as a whole. It has been an absolute pleasure to see students coming together in their various teams to tackle some of our most pertinent challenges. I'd like to acknowledge our coaches and mentors, as well as the training organization that have played an impactful role in helping the students shape the various solutions that will be presented today. This is an opportunity for you to take the learnings of this process to implement them in your lives as you grow your career path, where some of you may end up actually starting their own organizations. Well done to the R&D team from the Telkom Group, which has worked immensely to ensure the success of the challenge. I want to acknowledge the following organizations who have played a key role in sponsorship for this program and have helped us shape it to what you see today. Amdocs, Huawei, OpenServe, Telkom Consumer, and the Telkom Group. Thank you to the judges, mentors, coaches, and everybody who has played a key role in making today a success. All the best to every single entry. We look forward to the success of your winning, not just today, but as you grow in your career, in your life, to continue to impact the country and the continent at large. Thank you and all the very best for today.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mikey, for that warm welcome. Now I'm going to move on to acknowledging our esteemed sponsors, our diamond, platinum, insights, gold, and silver sponsors who are playing a key role in ensuring the success of SADNEC as a conference, and a special acknowledgement to the diamond sponsors who are ensuring the success of this challenge. Your commitment to fostering innovation is highly appreciated from our side. So now we are going to move on to the presentations. So as we delve into today's topic, together with our judges, we are going to explore the innovative solutions that our participants have come up with in their quest to solve for a seamless integration of network fault management and OLA and SLA management. So our first presentation is going to come from a team called Skyboat. So Skyboat, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Good
Yes.
morning to the judges and everybody in studio and everybody who's watching online.
Thank you. Please introduce your team and tell us what are you solving for.
My team name is Skyboat. My name is Umpabale Zeramedzi, and I'm a third-year mechanical engineering student from the Northwest University. I'm solving my topic for today. Please excuse me for one moment. It seems that I cannot play my slideshow, but I'm trying to figure out the issue. I will continue shortly.
Okay, no problem. We can see your slides from our end.
Yes, it's working now. So my topic for today is creating a centralized automated tool for network operations to manage network availability, fault tracking, fault prioritization, and SLA and OLA management. Without me wasting much further of your time, I would like to start my presentation. So, today I'm going to follow the following agenda. I'm going to start with what are we solving for, then followed by the solution, the value proposition, and what makes our solution special. Lastly will be the demo. So what are we solving for? The network operations team at Telkom is currently facing the intense management challenges. These challenges include frequent network outages, slow fault detection, disconnected systems, and many more. These issues are due to many slow and redundant processes within the management team. Customers experience regular downtime, and there's no real-time visibility into network performance. This makes identifying and solving network issues too long, and there's a lot of difficulty within linking alarms and actual network problems. This is largely caused by multiple network tools that do not work well together. So there's a need for a solution, a tool that can unify all of these tools to work together. So ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the solution, Telecom Network Guardian. This is a network management tool that unifies data from various sources, quickly identifies and resolves issues, and ensures compliance with performance standards. So how does it work? The solution is simple. It occurs in three phases. The first phase is data collection, followed by open integration, and then we create dashboards and reports. To further explain how open integration works, I want you to think of a cell phone and a CD. If you want to transfer music files from a CD to a cell phone, it's physically impossible because a cell phone does not have a port for a CD drive. But however, by using a laptop, this integration is possible and you can easily transfer your files from your cell phone to the CD. So this is what Telecom Network Guardian is. It's a platform of integration for the various network tools. And there's a lot more you can do with a laptop than just transfer files. So the network guidance has the following capabilities. It has automated fault management, real-time monitoring, artificial intelligence insight, alarm to fault correlation, automated SLA and OLA management, and predictive analysis. We can think of this system by the diagram of hands. These are hands connected to each other, working together to accomplish a specific goal. The question, however, comes is, does systems like this already exist? And apparently, yes. There's a system called T-Systems Network Management, VodaSmart, and AT Network Management. These are all systems created to solve similar problems that Telkom solves. So I did my research and compared it to my concept. And by the criteria specified on this table, ranging from integration flexibility, target market, user experience, AI capabilities, and fault management, it shows that our concept, the Telkom Network Guidance, is still ranked supreme. It is the best system for Telkom. So I want to move on to the value proposition. What is our value proposition? The system proposes cost savings and revenue streams. For cost savings, we are looking at reducing operational costs. This will be achieved by consolidating multiple network tools into a single platform. And also, we want to minimize financial losses that occur due to network outages. For revenue streams, we want to open up upselling opportunities and service expansion. This will be to the fact that better service costs more, and customers do not mind paying for better quality. So is this system feasible? Last year, in the financial year ending March 2024, Telkom reported a revenue of 33.8 billion rand. Of that revenue, they accounted for 12.5 billion rand in operational losses only. By incorporating this system, Telkom is looking to save 10 to 15% in operational losses. This was research, and similar companies who have implemented similar systems have experienced these savings. The cost of the Telkom Network Guidance is estimated at 4.6 million rand, and most of the cost is due to the cloud infrastructure needed for the integration platform. I want to remind the judges that the telecommunication industry is valued at 208 billion rand and is expected to grow at 6% annually. So this system has a huge potential for profit. So what makes our solution special? At this point, it has been clear that open integration has been the key differentiator between our system. Our solution will make sure that Telkom is flexible, future-proof, and offers enhanced collaboration and cost efficiency.
5 minutes remaining.
By being flexible, the Telkom Network Guidance seamlessly integrates with existing tools and systems. This introduces cost efficiency because Telkom does not have to replace most of the existing systems. They can just integrate them together. And also for future proofing, by offering open integration, when new technologies emerge in the market, Telkom will easily be able to adopt these technologies since we can accommodate most of the systems. And also, we offer enhanced collaboration. By supporting various technologies, the system will foster collaboration among teams and departments, breaking down barriers of communication. Truly, indeed, this is a system of systems for a business of businesses. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to move on to my demo.
Is your demo supposed to be having sound?
Yes.
Can you please stop sharing and reshare again? And there's a toggle button on the share screen for adding audio. Can you please put it on presentation mode?
I'm wondering, I did switch on the audio and it's supposed to play. But I will do that now. Can you hear the sound now?
Yes, we believe
Good
you.
day and
Yes.
welcome to my demo. This is the Telkom Network Guardian homepage. On this page, we have a map that shows the country, and the red spots indicate where there are currently network outages. This graph here shows the current network outages, and we can see in terms of hours how long each outage have lasted. If we click into one city, for example, Rustenburg, the map zooms in. Around this graph, we can see the proportion of uptime and downtime. And if we move here to this meter, we said Rustenburg contributes 46 points towards overall network availability. So you might want to know what faults are in the city. For that, we go to fault management. And in this tab, we see a list of all faults and the classifications. And here we see the number of escalated faults. These are faults where further actions needs to be taken. And we have another map here. And this chart here shows us the alarm to fault correlation. This way, we can see which alarm was caused by which fault. And this chart shows us that most faults were caused by a power failure. And if you click there, the map zooms in to show us the location where these power failures occur. On this chart here, we see that these power failures are critical and are caused by a power failure, but only one has been escalated. This means that 3 have been resolved. And we can gather more information about network availability and network management from this information. If I was to click on this fault number 13, it's a minor issue. And then the map shows me exactly where. So if I ever need an address, quick, we can just zoom in and we see that this is Nasa Street where the fault is, and the network, it's a network issue. So another thing we want to know is how much are these faults costing us? For that, we return to our home page. Then we go to SLA management. And in this dashboard, we can see the amount in rent, how much each site has been paying in penalties. And if we click on a specific city, then the other graphics also update. We start this city is the Ikahen transmission point has had 5 SLA breaches in the last month and has cost us 21,000 rand in penalties. And we can see how often this site has been up, and we can see the number of hours it has been down. This is the power of open integration, and I hope you enjoyed the demo. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the wonderful presentation. It is good to know that our participants have taken time to research their topics and also come up with innovative solutions. So I'm going to give the judges the honor of asking questions if they have any.
Sure. Let me start.
Okay, it's Anamela starting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I haven't seen your summary of SLAs. Remember, this tool is supposed to be targeting our operation staff to be able to calculate the SLA themselves. So how do you expect us to use this tool in terms of calculating our SLAs in a summary form that we can submit to our vendor to enforce the penalties?
Thank you very much for that question. In terms of the summary of the SLAs, I wasn't able to prototype every feature of the system, but that is something we can easily integrate into that. But for the prototype, I could not include every other feature because the problem is so broad, and I tried to include each and every aspect.
Okay.
Thank you. We have Lebu, who has a question.
Yeah, sure, thanks. So, on Pabaletse, a big portion of the exam question is, the ability to remove the manual process, right? And I'll tell you why I asked this. We have over 7,500 sites, and that translates easily into close to, give or take, over 50,000 cells in the network that we have to look after. And, to manage each and every one of those, 50,000 cells manually is almost an impossible task, right? And the exam question, I suppose, was how do we automate this process? How do we remove, hands, as it were, in the network? How do we ensure that when there's a fault, the system is able to rectify it without any user intervention? Have you looked at, perhaps considered remedial actions of the tool?
Yes, I have considered that. The thing is, with my prototype, we received data, and then I had to simplify that data into one that I can digest and actually make an app out of. But in my second page, where I showed the alarm to fault correlation tool, we had this table of faults, and below that was the table of escalated faults. So I want that process to be automated. So by using automation tools, that process will be automatic. So the faults that have been resolved, that have been escalated, will move down to the table for the team to be able to notice them. But as soon as the system resolves them, that is going to move them up to the next table. So for my prototype, I could not include any automation by using any AI tools, but that is something I've looked at, and I think it is what gives merit to systems like this. We want as much automation as possible. However, I could not experiment with artificial intelligence in this prototype. But thank you for that question, and I think it's very insightful.
Thank you so much. In the interest of time, I am going to take one final question. So over to you, Letlotlo.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, it's encouraging to see how, a third-year mechanical engineering student has ventured into this challenge. Well done on that. I think, the question I'm having is just trying to understand the core of your solution, and what is really behind it. I know we're using nice words like AI and stuff, but I wanted to understand what is the architecture behind what you're offering. I think Lebo mentioned about the many sides and all of that, so I think it's important to understand from your concept, what sort of architecture were you envisioning to see how you will connect to all these sites, whether it's 10 or 10,000, but what is the architecture, and how is it different from the current solutions? What makes this innovative?
Yes. Thank you very much for that question. I hope that somebody asked that question, and I'm glad you did. So the architecture behind this system was not an easy one to figure out, and I've tried to detail it in my report. So my goal here is to have all of these tools to give data to one central platform. So for a central database, there are tools available such as MySQL or the Microsoft SQL database. So when we have these different network management tools, automation tools, and they all have one platform where they can share data, that is the innovation behind this idea. Is that we are going to have cloud infrastructure with a lot of computing power. And with this data, we're going to have to carry out predictive analysis and all of these other functions. For a slideshow, this is too much to detail in detail. It is too much to include in detail, but that is how I envision it in my head. It's like that computer I was mentioning in my analogy that has these different systems in it. And one of those systems is going to be automation. It's going to be management. It's going to be alarm to fault collection. So all of these sections have tools that are already available on the market. We're going to have to find a way to integrate them together. But that is a tough challenge, and it's not so easy to indicate this on a slide. But I tried to detail it as much as possible in the report. But thank you very much for this question, because I struggled a lot coming up with this. Thank you.
Thank you so much to our judges and Umpabaletso for this engaging interaction. Before we move on to anything else, I would like to give Lebo the opportunity to explain to us what Telkom Consumer is about, and then he will be followed by Anamela, who would be giving us even more context to the topic that we are discussing today. Over to you, Lebo.
Sure. Thank you very much, ma'am. Yeah, so it's actually interesting that Umbabaletse showed some of the numbers. Maybe I should have given him the opportunity to just introduce the whole of Telkom. But yeah, so Telkom is a group of companies, right? I think it will be remiss of me if I don't mention the mothership, because we are a BU within the mothership, right? So Telkom is a group of companies. In this company, there are obviously a couple of companies and BUs within Telkom. We've got BCX. BCX is one of the largest ICT providers. We have OpenServe. OpenServe is, for lack of a better word, is the factory within group. So what OpenServe basically does is they are in the business of building fixed line networks. Some of you might know OpenServe has some of the largest fiber infrastructure. Actually, not some of it's got the largest fiber infrastructure in the country, right? And then we also have a tower company called SwiftNet. Again, if you follow the news in the media, you might be aware of the fact that the company has been offloading that aspect of the business. So the company is in the process of selling off the tower company. And then obviously Telkom Consumer. Telkom Consumer, and obviously this is the company that sponsors this event. And Telkom Consumer, in the main, provides services directly to customers. We play in both the fixed space. We sell, fiber to the home products, or fiber to the home and fiber to the business products, as well as mobile products. Maybe just some interesting effects in terms of our mobile network. We are the pioneers actually of fixed wireless access. We are the first mobile operator to successfully launch fixed wireless access products, and we have been a market leader since the launch of both the network and subsequent products. So yeah, that's in a nutshell what Telkom looks like. As I've already indicated, we are privileged to be part of, to have been through this journey with SATNEC. We have played our role. We have sponsored the event or the conference for a good number of years. And I have to say, last year when SATNEC was reached 25 years, it was the excitement was palpable, not just both for some of us who participate directly in SATNEC, but also in Telkom Consumer, because I think for the main reason being that we have been part of the journey. We have seen this baby grow up. We played a part in nurturing it, and when you see something that contributes so significantly to the development of future leaders, it's something I think that one has to be proud of. So in a nutshell, I think, Babedi, that's in a nutshell what Telkom looks and feels like. Thanks.
Thank you. Over to you, Anamela.
Well, thank you very much, Babedi. Let me start with a quick description of the challenge. Actually, it's a challenge to Telkom and to the student as well. Our challenge usually is that our operations spans a lot of domains. and we rely heavily on our service providers. So the main issue is to apportion SLA time to different service providers. So at the moment, we use a manual way of calculating SLAs. The trouble tickets are logged into a vendor's tool, which is not even our tool. So what we would have loved to see is a solution that harvests information from our operation support tool, and then that information should be automatically processed and then apportioned to different service providers in terms of SLA to determine which service provider breached the SLA. We have different contracts that we shared with the SLA part actually that we shared with our students, so that they can see which service provider is responsible for what SLA portion. So the student's responsibility was to harvest that data source, process it into SLAs automatically. This was going to help us actually in terms of efficiencies, where we don't have to do things manually as it is today. So I guess from the work that the students have done so far, we have learned something. I think we can actually build on it. We'll see what the other groups are going to present to us. But the main solution output of this challenge was an automated way of calculating SLAs across different service providers. Because there's a stop and start. Every time a fault moves from one service provider to another service provider, the first service provider is supposed to stop, and then supposed to move to the next service provider, and the time is supposed to start again, and so forth and so forth. At the end of the day, now, per service provider, we need to apportion them how much breaches they had and how much penalties we're going to have to levy against them. That was really the core issue. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Anamela. With all that being said, I believe that now our judges would love to stretch their legs for a bit, and then we'll continue with the presentations. And as we are stretching our legs, the next presentation, can you please prepare yourself? Thank you. We'll be back after a 5 minutes break.
Thank you.
Welcome back to today's session on Telkom's consumer-sponsored challenge. Before the break, we went through the presentations from Ombabalezi, and the judges had so much to say. So now we'll be moving to a team called Neural Nexus. So Neural Nexus is composed of 3 students from different universities. We have one from Rhodes, one from Malawi University of Science, and the other from Tshwane University of Technology. Are you guys ready? Can one of you just say hi to everybody?
Hi, everybody. We are ready.
Thank you. Over to you there.
Good morning to the judges, the participants, and anyone watching the stream. My name is Malcolm Apokole. I'll be presenting for Neural Nexus. I am the team lead for Neural Nexus, and I'm currently at Rhodes University. Alongside with me is Alu Cedric Bolamba, who is at the Tshwane University of Technology, and William Chonze, who is at the Malawi University of Science and Technology. So we have produced this presentation to come and accommodate our project as we have done before. So I would just like to go in and start off with how customers usually would be interacting with their networks, trying to engage with the networks using their usual devices to try to get their network connectivity, and issues such as networking could pose a problem. Therefore, we need a swift and responsible way to direct these issues, introducing our concept. So we're going to start off with what we're solving for. As a team, we have come up with 3 main tasks that we need to address in order to fully make the customer satisfaction for Telkom to be quite beneficial, which leads to more production and more profits for Telkom. This includes managing the SLA, the adequacy of the alarm systems, and having data retention, and the over-reliance of manual edits. So addressing these issues will be key for us to address the main issues with the current system that we're having, given that it will be more automated. Now, how are we going to try to solve this issue, which presents a solution? So we plan on having an organized and planned database structure whereby we have a centralized database system that has an integrated system tables whereby they link together in order to be able to produce necessary information for the Telkom staff members and the vendors included. Along with this database comes off with additional usage of automation, as in like it will autofill the necessary information that we get from the U2020 data, and it will automatically fill out the necessary details in order to just reduce the amount of work needed to maintain that. And just to add on to that, we have predictive analysis and prediction and analysis, whereby we monitor the data and use the trends that we find from the data in order to improve the system. We also include a clear and simple recording ticket of tickets, whereby the vendors who are actually working on the issue at hand can easily manage and report whatever they found in diagnosis and in solution of certain tickets, which would help further down the line, along with the vendor management, which then imposes the SLA violations on whether or not the vendors have been within the guidelines of SLA. Now we're going to show you a demo of our presentation. So we gave you a database schema that we have made up, where we have the fault alarms, which is generally the information we get from the U2020 data that will be sorted and edited on its own to fill in the necessary information, which would then generate a ticket
That ticket will be a way of interacting with both the the U2020 data and the vendors who are working on that issue. Alongside with that is the employees data or the users, whereby we see which user has done what and what vendors they belong to. And with the vendor's name, we have a team of vendors who will be working in that alongside with the employee information regarding who is responsible for what vendor has been doing what. Alongside with it is the SLA penalty table, which takes the ticket information, checks the time if it's appropriate or not, and allocates the necessary penalty points whenever there is a violation, along with what penalty type it belongs to. Along with the database is the AI analysis. This is a snippet of what our data was able to produce, which shows us when the network has been up or down or has been degraded, and the values of the SLA that have been calculated, and checking if they have violated the SLA and OLA compliances. And this is the web interactive snippet of what we've accumulated, whereby we'll have an employee ID and password, and they'll be able to log in. They'll have the home page in which they will go to the necessary tabs to address certain issues. And
you have 2 minutes remaining, Marco.
Okay, I'll be trying to be fast. And we have a visual representation of the data, how it will be presented to them, and alongside with the databases. And this is the report site where they will fill in the necessary information about what they've done and how they approached the issue and how they solved for it. The value proposition in which Telkom will be gaining from it is that there will be clear customer satisfaction throughout and an overall clear management system for the Telkom business in order to be more effective and efficient. These are the cost comparisons, cost to cost, profit to cost comparisons, whereby we list off all the necessary initial costs or the ongoing costs along with the profits that would line up with it. We stand out as we use AI for this as a way of being able to predict future events and how to analyze issues that might pop up. As I said before, this will be more beneficial to check if a certain issue has been addressed and how it has been done before, which will come from the reporting. And also it will check also when the system is down or up, what main issues are being caused and the main root cause of it. So with terms of resources, we have a lot of resources that we would need in regards to this project, whereby we would need a whole server, all the infrastructure resources that could be needed to go and address the issues, along with human resources, the software resources, training the current staff, the financial resources for initial investments, the external resources, which are the vendors that we're working as they've stated. We have a Telkom as external contracts, along with data security to ensure that the data of users are safe and the data of sites are secure as well, securing both the customers of Telkom and of Telkom itself. And with that, this is our presentation. I would like to thank you for allowing me to present.
Thank you so much, Team Nexus. I'm going to give it over to our judges. So in the interest of time, I'm going to take 3 questions.
Okay, we can go
over
first.
To you, Dr. Shabalala.
Okay, thank you, Team Nexus. I'm interested in the functional specification, especially towards managing SLAs. looking at, say, 3 aspects where you identify the faults and you want to classify and prioritize the faults towards the resolution. But now, what is not clear is how do you track the status of the faults towards making a decision as to whether they have been resolved. And again, what KPIs do you use to actually monitor the SLAs? Thank you.
Okay, so in terms of the SLA management part of it, so we have developed a Python program. We have used a lot of resources regarding to this, in regards to software. So with the Python file, it has a calculated algorithm that checks the time that it would take for the process to begin, as it begins, as the report has been done, and the time it takes for the vendor to completely resolve the issue. So it would take the time that it would take from these 2 aspects, and then it would check alongside with what classification of customers does this fall under, and then checks if there's any overtime that has been drafted. We have, in the Python file, we have created a table structure that checks for the customer type, the severity, and for the time it taken for the issue to be resolved. And using all of that, we've been able to calculate the time it took for an SLA or an OLA violation to occur, if it is a violation or not. And we were able to insert it back into our website, which would be quite beneficial for vendors to check beforehand. Our proposition was that since this is a more web tech based programming, therefore we would then mean that vendors can be able to go with mobile devices and able to report on the site when they're done as to just how they resolved it and what was diagnosed. That's all they need to insert, as most of the information will be provided by the database.
Okay.
Okay, our next question is from Lanyard.
Yeah, I think in terms of operationalizing the solution, who would be alerted in terms of the fault or if there's an SLA that has been broken as an output of your AI? And maybe if you can explain that for me a little bit more.
So in the aspect of AI, we were going to use a database as a way of trying to allocate what vendor is supposed to work on. So if, for example, a vendor is more specialized in working on environmental issues that are affecting the site, then we would go to that, we would classify that vendor who needs to work for that, linking only the data related to environment to the vendors related to environment. And as such, we would then try to distribute the work towards the vendors in an automated way as to allocations of like assignments automatically by just saying that this work has been allocated to you guys for the day. Looking at how they work at the rate they work at, there will be something that they would use to just see the assignments that are needed, that are assigned to them for a business day. And in terms of AI, the AI is used again as an addition to just try to check if there was any issues beforehand that were related to a specific issue or an alarm, whereby we could try to have suggested diagnosis and solutions in which they could address it, and try to track how long they would take based off previous data that has come before.
Thank you so much.
Let me be quick.
We have a final question
Yeah.
from
I'll
Anamela.
try to be quick. In your solution, I'm not very clear whether you are focusing on predictive maintenance or SLA management, or you are combining them into you are attacking both of them with the same solution. Another question that is confusing me a little bit is you kept on referring to customer. Which customer are you referring to here? Because the customer is actually us. So not the general public as customers. So which customer are you trying to refer to start with? Or which customers?
Okay, I can start off with the first one, the first question, which is that are we going for preventative measures or the SLA one? So for us, we try to combine the two as a way of just trying to have a way to help Telkom staff in being effective, by just reducing time that might be needed in order to try to go through diagnosis and solutions. If the diagnosis is similar to what has been suggested, then it would be quite beneficial for the staff members of Telkom to address the issue quicker, as they would have had a solution in a sense. And to address the customers, I was thinking in terms of the customer base of Telkom, which Telkom is a service provider, and it does need to service to the people. So whenever there is a side problem given to them by the U2020 data, it would be quite beneficial for them to have a Telkom staff member to be swift and resolve the issue, so that Telkom has a more better chance of having customer retention and building their new clientele in a sense.
Okay, thank you so much, Team Neural Nexus. We are now going to move on to the next presentations, which is from the Silk Society, and all the students in Silk Society are from the University of Swaziland. Silk Society, good morning. Please do greet our judges and audience.
Hello, everyone. All protocols observed. My name is Pepila Skulda, and with me today are my teammates Samgelo Msivi and Temgozi Mkonda. Today we are going to be talking about a concept we've developed, of which we believe is a game-changing system. Firstly, I would love to first dive into the inspiration behind the concept, which is the name Silk Society. Well, Silk Society draws from the ancient Silk Road and the notorious Silk Road of the dark web. The historical Silk Road was a vast network that facilitated trade, culture, and ideas, connecting different parts of the world. But on the other hand, in 2011, a digital version of the Silk Road emerged on the dark web, where it became a marketplace for illegal goods and services powered by cutting-edge technologies such as blockchain and cryptocurrency. Well, despite its illicit nature, this became an inspiration for us, and we were intrigued as to how we could actually change this around and make our own using the technologies. Well, to create a secure, anonymous, and immutable transaction in the system through blockchain. We wanted to take these technological innovations, adapt them, and apply them ethically to solve the modern challenges in network management. Just as the Silk Road, both the ancient and the digital version, revolutionized the way goods and ideas were moved, we aim to revolutionize how networks are managed and maintained in a seamless, secure, and automated way. Ladies and gentlemen, as the Silk Society, we present to you Canode, which is a centralized automated network operations tool.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I will take over on the presentation. My name is Samgelo Msivi, and I will be taking on the problem statement. What are we solving for? According to News 24, on the 13th of June 2023, Telkom suffered a 10 billion loss over the past year, hit by restoring cost impairments as well as load shedding. This led to the total market value of Telkom to be less than 16 billion rands on the JCE. Then on another article on the 13th of May 2024, on this article, they were reporting that there was a huge volume of network issue reports at Telkom that had been submitted on the network outage detection site. At the height of the outage, over 8,000 network outage reports were submitted about Telkom. Of course, 40% of the complaints have been about internet problems. 36% have been about phone problems, and 24% are reporting a total service blackout. And you might question yourself as to why is this? And this is because of network disruptions. This is because of network outages. And this is the problem that Canode is here to address. It's here to address the problem of having multiple fragmenting systems or tools executing different functions. It's also solving the problem of having a lack of a live site database and network availability dashboard or summary, along with the lack of faults or the lack of alarm to fault correlations, tracking edging tickets, fault interrogation interface, fault handling handover and redirection option, and the lack of automated escalation metrics and productivity measure. And these problems within Telkom leads to pains for both their customers and the telecom companies. For the customers of Telkom, this becomes a pain point because some of their customers are business owners, and when there's no network, e-commerce sites go offline. And for universities and educators, there becomes online disturbances. And also there are people who earn a living online, like influencers and forest traders, who lose valuable work time if the site or if the connection goes off. There's also life-threatening issues which are in hospitals. In hospitals, we know that there are operations, and in these days, there are expert systems which assist in these operations, which work through these connections. And if there's a network outage, it means that this is a life-threatening issue. And for the telecom operators, we have operational chaos because when there are too many issues and the system are fragmented and there's no centralized platform that offers an efficient, effective way of solving these issues, there becomes an operational chaos as team scramble. There's also the customer service overload because as a customer, when you are having a network issue, you then call your service provider. And of course, then this results to Telkom incurring financial losses as it may lose its market share if it continues to have network disruptions. Next to me is an example extracted from a social media platform online that shows customers of Telkom complaining about their network. This is where Canode shines. This is the problems that Canode is solving. I will leave over to my teammate Mkonda to take over. Thank you.
Greetings, everyone. So I'll be talking more on how we came across addressing this solution, more especially on how our system is built. So we are using a microservice architecture that will enable us to create each service individually, which will allow for easy scalability and access to everyone using the system. Please go back to the previous slide. Sorry, can you please go back to the previous slide? Yes, next. Yes, so what we'll focus on here is how
Tembinkosi, you
Yes.
have 5 minutes remaining for your presentation.
Okay, there is a slide before this. Can you please go back to that one so I can describe?
Is your demo supposed to have audio?
The first, yeah, the next one. So what we'll be focusing on here is how each service is created in a microservice architecture. We have the fault detection and ticket creation, which allows us to simply detect faults and automatically create tickets when alarm are triggered. We also have the priority-based queuing management, which tickets are accessed and assigned to either low, medium, or high priority queues based on fault level. We also have the operator assignment and initial response, which tickets from all priority levels are assigned to the operators who provide an initial response. Then we have the iterative resolution process, which tickets are processed with unresolved issues being escalated and reprocessed until it's resolved. Then we have the SLA compliance and reporting, where resolutions are validated against SLAs with breach logged before tickets are closed and reports generated. Then we also have carbon monitoring and security monitoring, which allows us to monitor carbon emissions through IoT devices, as well as making sure that the system itself is secure from threats, so we don't experience any downtimes. So moving over to the next slide, where we just outline how our system is structured using the microservice architecture. So what we have here are each elements of our system into components, where we, from fault detection services, this is where the faults are detected as well as created to the system itself. Then we have the fault handling service, where the faults are handled, recording of recovery time and the fault resolution time. Then we have LSA monitoring service. Then we move over to generating the SLA reports, and then we close the ticket if everything went well. So now we'll give over to Samgelo so he can continue with the rest of the value proposition.
So yeah, then what is the value proposition that Canot gives? Canot gives a proactive fault management. It gives also an AI-powered automation, which includes fault prediction, self-healing capabilities, reduce manual interventions. It also has a sustainability focus, enhanced security, edge computing, which goes to rapid fault. Which goes to rapid fault detection. We also have a flexible pricing mechanism, and furthermore, we also have a reduced downtime and operational efficiency, along with them. And we were also proud to say that this system is not only for the big companies, but also the small companies can also do it. Can you still see the slides?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. Then furthermore, we now move to the business model. On the business model, we have our key partners, which are telecommunications providers, IT service providers, and cloud service providers. And we also have the key activities that are used when developing this system. We have the key activities, which include the development, model training, system integration, testing, and deploying, and marketing. We also have then the key resources: software, cloud services, development skills, marketing skill, computational power, and devices. Then we also have the value proposition, the customer relationships, and the channels that we can use to distribute this system. Then you also have our customer segment.
1 minute remaining.
Okay. We are also trying to benchmark our solution against existing solutions, which is SolarWinds, ServiceNow, Zabbix, and PagerDuty. Let me try to show you the demo. Can you see the demo?
Not yet.
Okay, let me share it. Temgosim Konda, please take them through. Can you now see it?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you.
So the first screen we're seeing here is the dashboard, where it provides real-time metrics for users, tickets, faults, and SLA status. where we've mentioned cannot automatically calculate the SLA compliance and determines associated costs when the SLA is breached. We also see our carbon emissions and energy usage charts to demonstrate our commitment to reducing environmental impact while optimizing network performance. We'll also go to the ticket management screen where we show the tickets we have, as well as the location, the ticket type, as well as what devices are having an issue. Then we go to the fault analysis screen where we can see what are the root causes for the faults we are having. And then we are moving over to the SLA compliance, the SLA compliance where we can see if our tickets are resolved within compliance time or not. Then we go to the prediction screen where we are using our model to detect or predict the time to the next fault of occurrence on our network. So lastly, we're going to be looking at our carbon monitoring screen where we record carbon emissions using IoT devices to ensure that the system is environmentally and sustainability friendly.
Tembinkosi, time up. It's time up. Can you please wrap up quickly?
Okay. So right now, we've presented a simply proof of concept of what our system should be doing. So I'll give over to Samgelo to wrap up.
Yes. So this is a game-changing system that can fit the big companies and small companies, and the system addresses the core issues of Telkom, and not just Telkom, but any telecom provider out there. So we have this current prototype, and we have a server, and we also have a live database which is online and working and can be accessible anywhere. In conclusion, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Team Silk Society. I am going to hand over to our judges for questions. Okay, I have 3 questions. I will start with Dr. Chabalala.
Okay, thank you, Babedi. Thank you, Team Silk Society. My interest is on the system architecture. And of course, I think your approach in this solution is more or less holistic. And I think one of the things you are looking at will be user experience. Now, for end-to-end connectivity, if we look at, say, maybe where the faults can come from, we can have the faults maybe from the radio access or the core of the network. And obviously, in this case, we have an issue where we may have a large number of devices, either on the access, say radio access, or on the core. And we will also have multiple vendors in the network. So the question really is, how do you accommodate all the complexity, taking into consideration large number of devices in the network, as well as the issue of multiple vendors, in the sense that obviously in a management system, you need to send communication between your network elements and the management system. So how do you approach this from the system architecture? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for your question. Firstly, Conda said that this system is designed based on the microservice-based architecture, and since it's designed on the microservice-based architecture, it means that each system exists as a subsystems within this entire within this entire system, and that also means that even if one system can go down, the other systems can still be live, and this application will still be live. And furthermore, since this system is designed based on a microservice architecture, it means that it is capable enough to even add other systems within it and still function properly. And what happens is, like we have said, that we will have IoT sensors that can be integrated with system, which sends data to the data database, and then we created endpoints and then we created endpoints for each system to like take data specifically for each system and present them in a centralized platform. I'm not sure if I'm answering your question, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Over to Lebo.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Wapit. Something just caught my attention and interest, right? You are addressing ESG as well in your tool. I suppose the question is, and by the way, I mean, ESG is a very, very crucial aspect of one of the things that we are driving in Telkom is to ensure that we are a responsible company, right? So we do have programs, that are geared up to ensure that we reduce our carbon footprint. The question, I suppose, then is, I'm just intrigued. How do you envisage collecting your data points for ESG measurements? Are you making assumptions that the network will provide you those data points, or is the model going to work out what the carbon footprint is based on, I don't know, what you considered in your model?
Okay, sir, thank you very much for your question again. So the module for the carbon monitoring doesn't exactly come from the network, and as you know that the telecoms have telecom equipment that emits these carbon emissions. So the idea there is to have sensors there, then have a system which will operate within this system, which is for carbon monitoring. And also, I think also for the tickets, we forgot to mention that this system will partially operate on a private blockchain, creating immutable tickets, hence ensuring furthermore SLA compliance that cannot be argued with, and the SLA compliance. We were developing it to implement smart contracts that can further ensure it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm handing over to Letlotlo.
Okay, thank you very much, Silk Group. I must say that the Masalisa stole a bit of my question, but I'm flexible. I'll move to finances. I'm very interested to know about your business model. And I understand business models very well. But what I've realized is with what you've presented to us in your documents, you chose a subscription model. And I just want to understand how did you come to that particular business model, and also like if you based it on information related to Telkom, or you just did a wide projection. Thank you.
Okay. We based that model on the fact that this system can be adaptable to small and large enterprises, and if it is adaptable to small and large and enterprises, we did some research that the best model that we can go for is the subscription-based the subscription-based model, and the model will work by that in some of the small businesses, some components won't be available, and in the large components, it will have the fully fledged comprehensive like a fully fledged comprehensive system. I'm not sure if I'm answering questions there.
Okay, thank you so much, Samkelo. That was all the time we had for questions. We will now be moving on to our final presentation, which is from a team called UNC and FEW. I think the team member is Mashudu. Mashudu, are you ready? And if you are ready, please
Hello, am I
greet our
audible?
judges. Yes, please greet our judges and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone who's on this live and the panel at large. It's a great opportunity to be part of this conference. In fact, I'm very proud of myself with the extent to which I went to pursuing this project. And yes, so thank you for everyone who made that time to be here. I'll just, you may, I will be communicating with Asavela to skip through my slides because she's the one displaying my slides. So you may skip Asavela. Yeah. Yes. So basically, excuse me. So basically, my approach to this Telkom theme of developing a centralized platform for monitoring, fault prioritization, and fault tracking. The scope of my project was looking at power and the power usage of our telecommunication base stations. So the main problem is that, or rather, what we've come to realize is that there's an increasing number of communities that rely on the internet for mobile communication. So that also means there's immense pressure on telecommunication infrastructure. And if that isn't enough, we have issues, next slide, we have issues such as electrical equipment malfunctions, power outages, electricity theft, and a compromise. Well, I mean, and electricity theft, which compromise the network quality of service. So that incurs a lot of operational costs, and at the root of these maintenance costs is fixing equipment malfunctions, remedying power outages with backup power, and we also have costly and misinformed site visits. And this is something which most of my solution will also be focusing on, because what we realize is that with a lack or a delayed insight on the cause and the type of fault that's occurring at different base stations, telecommunication companies spend large amounts of money in the fault tracking process to detect and to respond to critical events that happen at a site. So you will, with my research, companies like the Dark Fiber Africa will charge you from a minimum of 20,000 per visit, which is just a visit to basically investigate what the problem is. And this happens routinely, whether triggered by an event or not. This is just for investigation. And there's another cost for actually remedying the fault. So we're trying to cut this because it's time consuming and it also is money consuming. So for the solution towards this problem of bringing up predictive maintenance, because that's clearly our solution here for us to reduce the downtime and to for us to reduce yes, thank you, Isabella. For us to reduce the downtime, which often leads to high churn rates, churn rates referring to the loss of subscribers or customers onto our network because they find our network unreliable. So the approach that was used in our solution is that you can pretty much prototype or we can somewhat simplify a simulation of a base station, a single base station with an electrical circuit. And because technology has been moving towards the point of smart meters, so there is high monitoring, or there's intense monitoring happening on our networks, and we can leverage such
You have
technologies.
5 minutes remaining, Mashudu.
Yes, we can leverage such technologies, which is something that legacy companies using legacy systems already have. We have the same access to data. So what kind of data are we analyzing? We're analyzing power consumption data so that we can get insight on how the base station uses power and how different equipment of the base station use power. And based off the inflections and the readings of the power consumption of these of our base station, we can project and predict whether an equipment is malfunctioning, or rather if there's electricity theft, where you find that we are consuming more power than usual. So what architecture did I use to prototype this project? I was able to, I was fortunate enough to receive data through NetEco, Hawaii NetEco, which is a power monitoring platform for base stations. So with the data that I received, it was for a triple stack base station with 4G and 5G. So we were able to look through the data, which has so many features, looking at total usage and power usage of each and every equipment. Yes, that is monitored. And we perform feature engineering, which is basically the process of choosing which features of the data we should use to perform predictions on that will give us the most insights. And through PCA, sorry if I'm speaking too technical, but we used principal component analysis, which helps us choose which feature to perform predictions on. And for this prototype, I used the total usage, yes, the total power usage of a base station. And through that, we are able to basically streamline, or rather this architecture is to streamline data power as SQL or CSV documents with yes, with the time and power data that is recorded and received through a platform like NetEco. And then we built a Flask web server for pre-processing, because obviously the data will come raw, but it needs to be cleaned and filtered, ready for the trained machine modeling to be used for prediction. So I went through a couple of machine learning algorithms to decide which one is best performing.
1 minute remaining.
Oh, okay. Yes. So as such, we are able to use a Flask web server to pickle the machine learning model and perform predictions, which are now rendered to a web dashboard. Please go to my demo. Yes. Okay, and we can, yes. Oh, please, yeah, let's just stick with the business model canvas. So looking at the business model canvas, to basically explain that, yes.
Our time is almost up. I think we should move to the demo.
Okay, okay. Let me share my screen. Let me know if I can, it's visible. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so it starts out with a login for just for demonstration. Password is admin, username is admin. Yes, so.
Okay, attention, Mashudu.
Yes.
Your time is already up, so I'm going to give you just 2 more minutes for you to wrap up the demo.
Thank you for the grace. So for demonstration purposes, we basically what I've just done there is uploaded, is just to show the process of uploading power data, but this will be automated with a full end-to-end AWS architecture to basically build a pipeline that automatically loads up the power data and then generates a daily mean of total usage over time, show the imbalance, and also give updates on the equipment health based on the information that has been analyzed. And then also, because you also want to make sure that your model is consistently performing well, there is a prediction report to display that. Yes, thank you. I'll welcome any questions, especially when it comes to the business modeling. Yes.
Thank you so much. Because we are running out of time, I am going to take only 2 questions from the judges. Okay, so I have 2 hands up already. I will start with Lanyard.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mashudu. Great presentation. I just want to understand how you mentioned that there's a cost of about 20,000 Rand in terms of visiting and fixing some of the sites. With your solution of predictive maintenance and predicting where there's going to be a network challenge, how do you see us reducing that cost? And also, just to add to that, maybe you can elaborate a little bit more in terms of the accuracy of your predictions as well, in terms of like what you've observed there.
Okay, so basically, the business model is aimed at significantly reducing the number of unnecessary visits
by accurately identifying the anomalies the power anomalies that are happening. So because it's very important to retain as a business, it's very important to retain a customer more than gaining one. And a study has been done that if we improve our network reliability, we can reduce the churn rate or the loss of customers. I looked at customers that are most likely to leave a network if the network is inconsistent, right? And but by that, we look at the fact that if we can maintain that, if we can reduce the churn rate by 15%, Telkom could potentially add an additional 0.9 million subscribers based on an ARPU of 62 Rand. That's for customers who, that's for prepaid customers. Yes. So we are basically reducing site visits. Sorry. But yeah, we're basically reducing site visits. And how do I fix this? I'm having a hard time to word this, but we're reducing unnecessary site visits. So because we have a clear, a model that basically will give us updates when there is a concern with the power use of equipment, whether they are overusing power or underusing, which often means that there is faults with the metering or the equipment itself is not working properly, and that on its own is a trigger for us to recommend a maintenance team that is specifically for that equipment, because we know that we're not sending out a team that's going to do a general check. They're going there for very specific alert. So that will help us address the inefficiencies of a routine check. We don't need a routine check. We go by event. We go by event. What was your second question? Sorry.
The accuracy of your predictions as well.
Oh yes. So like I said, we went through. I used logistic regression, random forest, and I actually used a couple. I used deep neural networks and basically compared their performance, the accuracy. So the accuracy performance seemed to be outdone by random forest, which achieves an accuracy of 95% and above consistently through through a range of data frames, one with the least outliers or abnormal power usage to ones with the most abnormal power usage. This is to simulate real world data when we have data when we receive data from power stations and it has so many different values that, so basically the model is trained to be able to accommodate different data frames with so many outliers.
Okay, thank you so much, Mashudu. We have the final question from Dr. Chabalala.
Thank you, Mashudu, for your presentation. Of course, it's also good to hear that you are proud that you have made it this far. Mine is a specific one. I see that your focus is on the radio access. Now, what is not clear to me is as much as you look at network availability as your KPI, then what data are you collecting and how do you map this data to the KPIs that you are looking at?
So basically, we are, if I could show. So basically, we're looking at because, like I mentioned, that we're moving in the direction of smart metering, which means we're not just metering the total usage, but we're metering different components of the system, right? You could think of this as a household that we're trying to manage. We're trying to look at how much the fridge uses power, how much the stove, the geyser, and so on. And basically, there will be an average that you're expecting it to the equipment to perform at. So, which helps us build, or rather structure outliers in our algorithm to say if the power usage is about 20% above the maximum that you expect it to use, then that's a flag for inspection. And if it performs, I mean, if the data recorded is like also 20% or more below the minimum, it's a flag for inspection. Yes. So
Okay,
basically, we're monitoring so many equipments to help us have insight on what's actually happening to our base station.
Okay, thank you so much, Mashudu. That was all the time we had for questions, and it also brings us to the conclusions of the presentation. And before I move on to anything else, I would like to pique Anamela's interest. I would like you to share with us the experience as you were coaching the participants during the course of the challenge.
Well, thank you very much. Well, it was quite a good experience, but a few comments maybe that might be valuable to our students is that they were not very good at asking questions. You know, I think we had sessions where literally we had to do most of the talking. And this you can see even in the output of their work. Many of them appear to have missed the whole issue altogether. Because we started by introducing the holistic problem, even how we operate and everything else. So my expectations was actually to have a lot more interaction with them so that we can narrow down to the issues that need to do the exam question itself. But maybe I don't want to comment on the results, but I think many of them missed the exam question completely. You know, and many of them went a little bit too broad, you know. So we try to guide them to go to very specific things. So like in this situation, what we're looking for is something very, very specific. What are our SLAs looking like based on the data that we give you? Give us a simple report. That's really what it is all about. But I think asking questions is one thing that they need to learn. And having been a student myself at university, I know we had to keep a good distance between our lecturers and ourselves. But in the industry, things don't work like that. You know, your boss or your supervisor is the man that you need to bug as much as possible until you understand what they need, what they want. But the moment you don't really ask questions and you don't bug your supervisor to understand what they need, you're going to miss the question. You can spend the whole night working, you submit a report, it goes into the dustbin because you have answered the wrong question. So I really encourage the students to learn to engage as much as possible so that they can fully understand the requirements.
Thank you. I am hoping that our participants have taken note for future reference. In addition to what Anamela was doing with regards to coaching, our students also underwent a 3-month training program where Kui Studios were taking them through the solution development process. So they started from problem understanding up to the conceptualization and also the business modeling part of things. So our students also underwent training for pitching and business modeling. So yeah, then yes, this brings us to the end of our session. So we are going to take a 10 minutes break when our judges are going to deliberate, and then the winners will be announced after. Thank you.
I don't know as yet, Ma. I haven't decided, really.
Hey, sis. Did you get my email? Find your courage.
Welcome our next speaker from the top woman in science, Notam.
Get out there, dude. Find your tribe. Never let them go. And together chase the sun.
Wow.
Notando, the world is big. May you always be bigger. I'm proud of you.
Dad, Mom. I know.
Telkom. Possible begins here.
know as yet, Ma. I haven't decided, really.
Hey sis, did you get my email? Ungabi gwala. Find your courage.
Welcome our next speaker from the top woman in science, Notam.
Get out there, dude. Find your tribe. Never let them go. And together chase the sun. Notando, the world is big. May you always be bigger. I'm proud of you.
Dad, Mom.
I know.
Telkom. Possible begins here.
Oh, we are back from our deliberation break, and our judges have reached their decision. But before the winners are announced, all our judges are going to give feedback to our participants. So this time we are going to start from the far right. We are going to start with Lenma.
All right, thank you everyone, and thank you so much for all the students who participated today. I think for me, I thoroughly enjoy each one of the presentation. Definitely learned quite a bit in terms of how each and every one of you has approached the problem, and have came up with some innovative ways in terms of solving the problem, whether it be from preventative maintenance in terms of how we look at the network, to actually looking at how we solve some of the SLAs. I think really wish you guys all the best in terms of like how you take your studies further, as well as in terms of like how you solution some of the solutions. Some of these solutions, I believe, with a lot of more focus and a lot more rigor, can be operationalized and can be a solid building blocks for you guys to build something for the future, which can be of value for us as Telkom and other telcos across the world. Yeah, thank you.
Dr. Chabalala.
Okay, thank you. Many thanks to the students who have done their presentations. The topic is quite interesting and very timely, especially in the advent of artificial intelligence, software-defined networks, and migration to cloud services. I mean, I think the issue really is whether the current management frameworks in terms of networks management are still applicable and still work, or otherwise what would be the way forward. So we have seen some interesting presentations, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Letotla.
Yeah, thank you everyone that has participated. I think it's encouraging to see, how our students are, raising their hands. The opportunity was there, and you raised your hand to participate. So I'll just give advice as a systems thinker that you can take forward and apply to this challenge and others. I'll say you always have to stay a learner. Don't think that where you are, that's it. Stay a learner, because there is no limit to what we don't know. And the second one is challenge your mental models. The fact that you've been doing things in a certain way, it does not make it right. And that's why Telkom is actually exposing itself and saying, these are the challenges. We've been doing something, maybe there's a new way that might change what we're doing. So stay a learner, challenge your mental models, and also lastly, get inputs from multiple stakeholders. So don't just believe what you believe amongst your peers. Take things from different levels. If there's mentors, listen, get inputs from multiple perspectives. And I think if you do those three things, you will be able to actually do wonders moving forward. But all the best, and I think you're all winners. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you. Anamela?
Yeah. Thank you very much, dear team, for the great effort. I really enjoyed myself providing some guidance when I was coaching you guys. I might just want to give you two pieces of advice. The first one is, guys, learn to ask questions as much as you can, so that you can have a full understanding of the problem you're trying to solve. That, I think, is the key one. Don't be shy. There's no such thing as a stupid question or a silly question. We're all learning, and we all like to learn from each other. The second point, guys, is there's a common saying to say, how do you eat an elephant? You chop it in pieces. What I've seen when I was in all this presentation is you went too broad. You forgot to focus on very small specifics. At times, it's a good idea to focus on solving one specific problem, especially in software development. You can solve one small problem, but you can start adding features as your solution gets better and better and better. That's how you actually enhance. But if you start very broadly, you won't have something very specific to deliver. So my advice is always learn to eat an elephant in pieces. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now it's Lebo's turn.
Yeah, thanks, ma'am. So maybe let me start by echoing one of the members of the panelists. I think it's Brother Litlotlo when he said everyone is a winner. And I think this point is driven home by the comment that I think it was Mashudu. Mashudu said it's an achievement for him to be part of this, to participate in this prestigious event. So all of you colleagues are winners. Ultimately, you know, we have to choose one. You know, we cannot have 4 winners. We have to choose one. But I think take comfort and pride in the fact that you know, you participated in this program, and we value your presentations. I think at this point has already been made. You know that there's always something new that we always learn out of these presentations. The one for me that sticks out, for example, is the use of blockchain to manage tickets, right? I think that's a brilliant touch, and the reason why I say this is often, you know, SLAs result in penalties, and when you have penalties, you have emotive things like people are going to penalize me, and then I have to pay money. Therefore, therefore, apologies for that. So therefore, you know, it's important that we introduce or we come up with, you know, systems that will ultimately manage the conflict that you might have as a result of. So yeah, I think overall, I'm being told that I need to be quick. But overall, I think I'm happy with the presentations and good luck. Do I need to? Okay, cool.
Thank you so much to our judges. And as Lebo was saying, that everybody is a winner. Each and every one of you who made it up to the last stretch is going to get a certificate of participation in the challenge. And the second certificate would be for completing your training. So we are going to take a 2-minute break, and then after that, the winners will be announced. Thank you.
Sometimes there's no one else who loves me like you used to. Sometimes we're not ourselves, there's no one I can turn to.
Welcome back, everybody. Our judges are now ready to announce the winners. So I'm giving back to Lebu to announce who our winners are.
Thank you very much. The winners are, drum roll, Silk Society team members, Samkelo Msibi, Pepile Sigundla, Tembinkosi Makonda from Eswatini University.
Congratulations to Silk Society. I would like to acknowledge each and every one of you who made it to the end of the challenge. That is a major win, even if you did not receive the winning prize. So I would like to thank everybody who took their time to attend or to watch the sessions online, and also take a moment to thank our esteemed judges for taking time out of their busy schedules and honoring us with their presence here. Thank you so much. Your support is immensely appreciated. So this brings us to the end of our session. And please do tune in at 1 o'clock as we will be dealing with the SATNEC themed topic. Thank you, everybody. All done.